Thank you for joining us for our main news on MUVI TV, where we are broadcasting to you live from our studios in Lusaka. Let's take a look at our headlines. Former Deputy IG arrested. Masebo assures newly recruited health workers no name will be removed from the approved list. President Hichilema responds to citizens' requests for Mumbipiri's release. Kaole Stadium workers appeal for protective clothing. Pressure mounts over construction of structures around Mtendere Library. And now with the details, I'm Virginia Chilongo. Health Minister Sylvia Masebo has assured all health workers that were recently recruited their names will not be removed from the approved list. This comes after the revelation some names which were published in various newspapers were not appearing in the government system. This situation has agitated some of the health workers as they have not yet received their appointment letters.
From applicants to the just ended recruitment process under the Ministry of Health. These are reports of names that appeared in the newspapers but have not been given letters. They have been told that their names are not in the database, maybe on the computer. I want to use this opportunity to assure the public that the Ministry of Health, working with the Commission, the Public Service Commission, are currently working around the clock to ensure that this matter is resolved. Let me also assure those affected that for as long as your name appears was advertised as having been offered a job, you are guaranteed to be employed. So my appeal is please remain calm. There is no need for demonstrations. There is no need for voice notes. There is no need for panic. Just give the Commission who are working with the Ministry of Health to ensure that you get your letters. With this, I wish to say that
President Hakainde Hichilema has finally responded to citizens' requests for the immediate release of embattled, incarcerated former Patriotic Front Deputy Secretary General Mumbipiri with the call for judicial reforms. The President notes the need to unblock the justice delivery, offload the backlog of cases, and to ensure each High Court at least has a resident judge as opposed to currently where there are no resident judges in many places. The President has, however, described the continued detention of Mrs. Piri without trial as unacceptable. The head of state, however, disclosed that Mrs. Piri's arrest was pending before the change of government last year and has accused the police command then of playing double standards by not following the law on the matter while disclosing that he too has been asking questions around her prolonged detention without seeing a judge. He was speaking at State House during the special edition of the Red Hot Breakfast Show Friday morning, and the President has stressed the need for constitutional reforms to stop by-elections and ensure parliamentary tenure of office runs for a full 5 years. He further discloses Cabinet has approved changes to the Public Order Act, which is currently under consultations, and that the Constituency Development Fund CDF Act will be amended to speak to current needs with enhanced CDF.
The law says arrest the killers. Why were they not arrested? That's the question. Justice is justice for all. Justice for Lawrence Banda, justice for Mumbipiri. I agree, 100%. Now, why wasn't the police able to arrest someone who confesses on? It's all over your media. It's even in your radio station. It's there. I'm sure she even came to Hot FM to say, I was there. So why did the police arrest her? Because they were double standards. The law was not being applied universally. That's what we're urging. Everybody must be treated equitably before the law. But the law must be followed fairly. That's my answer there. The issue of her staying without seeing a judge, Eddie, we must work together to unblock the justice delivery system. Remember? And that is not correct. I'm the first one to tell you that that's not correct. Everybody must be treated fair. As they committed a crime, they know who committed the crime. You also know that if you see someone being killed and you don't report the police, you've committed a crime. Yourself. Although you may not be the one who told the truth. Because you must, as a good citizen, as a law-abiding citizen, you must do that. So I think on that score, we are clean. We're good to go. The issue is the delays are unacceptable. You hear me? The delays are unacceptable. I'm a victim of that, and I'm determined. We are determined, together with you, to reform the criminal justice system, to offload what is called the backlog. For your information, I have asked the question myself. The question is just asked. I'm asking. And I've been given answers. I'm not happy with the answers. So we're pushing. All of us. One of the things we're doing is that the judicial judges were not resident in many places. High courts. They used to use what they call visiting. Judges go to visit. Now we are working, my friend, to make sure that, again, we allocate resources that every provincial center at least must have a resident judge. I beg your pardon. At the high court level. Because matter starts at the high court level. You're with me? And that is the answer to your question. I'm not happy. You are not happy. We are not happy. Was there a crime committed? There's an alleged crime. And no one is above the law. But we must move quickly. Therefore, one of the measures to move quickly is to decentralize. The way we are doing in CDF, to decentralize. We've been talking about a meeting with the Chief Justice to help, to work together, to take judges where they should be, instead of judges visiting. How can judges visit? One is. Number two, to make sure that the courts function, administrative aspects of the courts. Number three, to make sure that we set additional courts that plug up the courts, such as the economic crimes court. Good news, is it set up? Yes. Is it working? Yes. So it's taking the law away from certain judges or magistrates, and then leave those judges to attend to cases like MUVI. I'm with you. We are together.
And President Hichilema has disclosed that Nkwazi House needs a lot of rehabilitation works to be done to it, and he received a quotation of about 14 million kwacha. Now, the Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, through its Anti-Money Laundering Investigations Unit, has arrested a former Deputy Inspector General of Police for being in possession of property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime. 45-year-old Charity Katanga of plot number 401A611 in Makeni has been arrested for being in possession of property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime, valued at $2,030,000 United States dollars and $1,522,005 kwacha. Particulars of the offense are that Mrs. Katanga, jointly and whilst acting together with other persons unknown on dates between 1st January 2017 and 6th June 2022 in Lusaka province, did buy 10 Higer buses at the purchase price of $203,000 United States dollars each, using funds reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime. The Commission has seized the buses and also cash in her company bank account in the sum of $1,522,005 kwacha, money reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime. The suspect is on police bond and will appear in court soon. Now, this is according to a statement released in Lusaka by Drug Enforcement Commission Public Relations Officer Matthias Kamanga. We take you back to a previous story where President Hakainde Hichilema has disclosed that Nkwazi House needs a lot of rehabilitation works to be done to it, and he received a quotation of about 14 million kwacha.
Point two is the state of the house. Then point three, madam, is that the work has to be done. Quite all right. Whether we move in or not, we must restore the integrity of that asset called Nkwazi. In fact, there are two houses there, Nkwazi and another house. So yes, because those are public assets, they need to be restored. Integrity to a level, usable level. That's not a priority. So that's where I was coming to. That's not a priority. Last point, so we can cover the things, is that any money that is available must be used prudently. Extravagance is not the way we were brought up. It's not the way we grew up. It's not the way we conduct business ourselves as a church. Because the quotations we go to do to repair that house, it was like building a new house.
We take our first break. We'll be right back.
How to use your home Airtel Money wallet when traveling across Africa. Step 1. Get used to a new place. Step 2. Learn the language and culture. Step 3. Pay your bills in a foreign country using your home Airtel Money wallet. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
The best in town, appliances for you. When we're looking for electrical appliances, think Electromaster. Appliances you can trust. Electromaster products include single plate and two plate cookers, electric and microwave ovens, electric kettles, blenders, hand mixers, fruit juicers and mixers, pressing irons, electric pizza pans, sandwich makers, hair blowers, and so much more. Electromaster products are exclusively distributed by Fidelity Stores. Fidelity Stores. Quality goods, affordable prices.
As COVID-19 cases keep rising, many business entities are affected and their revenue keeps going down. But together, we can fight COVID-19. MUVI Enterprises provides you and your organization the safety you require in these hard times of the COVID-19 pandemic by using effective disinfectants procedures such as knockdown and residual disinfecting that helps prevent and get rid of COVID-19. We do knockdown and residual disinfecting procedures for homes, offices, hospitals, churches, and many more. Protect yourself and the people around you and get your business running with our powerful trusted disinfectants. Call MUVI Enterprises on 0955 767835 or 0955 992230 or come to the third floor, room 3, Kazara House, corner of Dedan Kimati and Independence Avenue. Follow us on Facebook, MUVI Enterprises Limited. Always remember to observe the COVID-19 guidelines. Mask up, sanitize, social distancing, and stay.
Welcome back. A Lusaka-based citizen, Alex Walia, has praised the Anti-Corruption Commission, ACC, for several arrests of persons suspected to be embezzling public money, the institution has reported. Mr. Walia says, arising from several former public officials and private individuals who have been arrested, it can be concluded that the fight against corruption is yielding results. He was speaking in an interview with MUVI TV News Friday afternoon.
Of coming under fire from several stakeholders on non-recording of successes in the fight against corruption, the Drug Enforcement Commission (DEC) and the Anti-Corruption Commission (ACC) have in the recent days ramped up arrests of public figures accused of corruption. Reacting to the development, Lusaka-based resident Alex Walia has hailed the two institutions for raising up to the challenge.
This is corruption fight. This war on corruption is now seemingly to be giving results, and it's yielding fruits. Very, very, very thankful on the efforts that have been driven by the SEC as well as the DEC over the issues of corruption prosecutions.
Mr. Walia since encouraged the institutions to press on with the fight against corruption.
This relentless fight on corruption is a fight that we continue to look forward to. It is a fight that we are eager to see, that those that have stolen the national resources, those that have stolen from the national treasure should be brought into book, and they should be prosecuted without fail.
Meanwhile, Friday saw another prominent figure, former Zambia Police Deputy Inspector General Charity Katanga, arrested by DEC for being in possession of property reasonably suspected to be proceeds of crime valued at $2,030,000 United States dollars and $1,522,005 kwacha. For MUVI TV News, Sam Kaptula Afias in Lusaka.
Some councillors in Livingston, Southern Province, have expressed concern over the CDF allocation for certain projects. The civic leaders who were speaking during a CDF media engagement in Livingston expressed opposition at how some projects were denied funding when they should have been a priority. CDF chairperson Christopher Siamwenya, however, explained some projects were on private land, hence the decision to leave them out.
Allocation of the Community Development Fund, people have been eager to know which projects have been approved. However, some councillors in Livingston have expressed displeasure over the selection and allocation of CDF projects by the committee, citing lack of priority by the people in charge. The councillors say most projects that were left out are projects that are of great importance to the ward and are capable of impacting positive development.
For us as a rural ward, I would say we are not happy the way how the applications were done. I'm saying so because councillors who are in the committee took advantage of it, because we've got other wards which took about more than 2 million out of these monies. Then when you have to look at Sanka ward, we're just given about 1 million. And this is the ward, when we talk about the cooperative, this is the rural ward where cooperative are supposed to be done. A lot of projects are supposed to be done, they were just given to cooperative. So you can see how these money are being allocated. As a ward, we are not happy because those councillors who are in the committee did go there to represent us. They represented their own wards.
And Jackson Hangombe, who is Nakatindi Ward Councillor, says his area was only allocated a water tank worth 50,000 kwacha at the expense of a police post and a clinic.
I must say, as a district leader, I would say, for Livingston, I'm happy. But for people I represent, I may say, they were partly betrayed. Why am I saying so? Some guidelines, the guidelines in some articles were not followed. One, the Article 5.5 of the CDF guidelines was totally misplaced. The technical committee, the CDF committee did not follow that. We were not engaged after we submitted our projects. We were not engaged at what has been left out or what is viable. We went on priorities. We applied for a school at Nakatindi School, a 1x4 class plus. There was some misplacement of advice there from the technical committee and the CDF itself. What we submitted, what was done is another thing. Then two, we applied for a police post. I don't know, and I don't even understand up to now, who should find the land for the community projects. Yes, we lead the one, we represent the one, but we thought the technical committee would advise us to find a bare land where someone is going to occupy it, so that we can offer that resource to the community.
CDF Chairperson Christopher Siamwenya, who was put to task to answer raised concerns, defended the decision of this committee.
The number of projects from the WDC, so to say. Now, as a CDF, after receiving those projects, our role now was to deliberate on those projects. Now, the deliberations which we undertook was to look at the viability of those projects, to shortlist a large number, from a large number to a manageable number that we could be able to take.
The civic leaders have since advised the CDF committee to do the right in future by allocating projects of priority, Prudence, Matella reporting for MUVI TV News, Livingston, Southern Province.
Iteji Rural Health Center has only one health worker against a catchment area of about 6,000 people. During a tour of rural parts of his constituency over the weekend, Member of Parliament Twambom Tinta who had to take a boat ride, which is the only way to access Kabulungwe ward, about 100 kilometers from the main business center, held several meetings to educate the villagers on constituency development funds. Mr. Mtinta said CDF was complementing government efforts by ensuring staff houses are built. In Munga ward, Mtinta announced the construction of a 1x3 classroom block, water points, toilets, solar system and teacher houses to mitigate the crisis at a school that has only 5 classrooms and 5 teachers against a population of 800 children. Mr. Mtinta notes the uptake of CDF was low, especially on loan applications and secondary school bursaries. Headman Shikahawe of Kabulungwe Ward says Mr. Mtinta was the first MP to have come back to visit the area after winning elections from the time of the MMD government. He urged his headmen to support the UPND government and give President Hakainde Hichilema time to settle down, saying they inherited a broken economy. Workers working on the pitch employed by Adviso Grass Africa at Luapula's Kaole Stadium have appealed for protective clothing. Christopher Chola says despite the company paying them on time, they have been lacking in protective clothing as they were only given gloves. Meanwhile, Luapula Province Minister Derek Chilundika has ordered the company to provide protective clothing for workers and issue them with written contracts.
It's been the biggest stadium in Luapula Province. Kaole Stadium is one of the stadiums under construction and rehabilitation with funding from FIFA. The stadium, which was supposed to be completed in June this year, is still under construction. Some workers found working without protective clothing are this to say.
Kweno kulomba muno tulebomba fyo lelo pamulando akwebati kuba nensu amasisi nadisha lelo kabira chinge kabira
They have added that they would want to continue working even when machines are taken to the stadium. They have also called for increased manpower in order for the stadium to be completed before rain season. But Luapula Province Minister had this to say over this matter.
And spoke to the site manager, who is taking care of the same contract of maintaining the playground. We have agreements that by next week Tuesday, they will make sure that all those employees are on PPE. And on the issue of the contract, as much as we acknowledge that an employment contract may be written or verbal, we encourage the contractor to ensure that they prepare the written contracts.
Helen Chisha reporting for MUVI TV News in Mansa District.
Mtendere Ward 34 Councillor Boniface Chibeta has supported the setting up of structures along the war fence of Lusaka City Council Mtendere Library. Mr. Chibeta has clarified the structures are shops and not bars. This comes after some pupils and parents cried out to government not to allow the structures to be built, as this would disturb their studies in the library.
Mtendere Ward 34 Councillor Boniface Chibeta has supported the setting up of structures along the war fence of Lusaka City Council Mtendere Library. Mr. Chibeta says the structures, which are about 15, are shops and not bars.
So I would like to refute the allegations which are leveled against me, that we are people who applied through the normal channel council here, they are going to bring the bars and taverns. I would like to categorically state that there is no such here. Just like on the first there, there is even somebody who is even bringing employment here. It's a company which will have some telecoms accessory, which are employing youth from Mtendere. There is even job creation here. The issue of bars and taverns, it has never even crossed my mind.
He says the shops will further help to tackle the issue of people disposing garbage on the site.
We are going to have groceries, butcheries, and other things, but of course, completely off, not nothing like to selling beer. Just like even those who have small timbers around here, they don't sell beers. They don't. In fact, if there are people who sell beer, is that other side?
One of the developers, who is also in the local ward development committee, says he is building a shop and has the right to do so, claiming that he followed the right procedure.
My name is Owen Odende. I'm one of the people that applied to have this shop here. And you know, the council itself was very cautious that it's behind the library. And there's no way the council can grant any permission to build the bar. So I want to refute with in strongest terms the statements that were made yesterday. The people that organized those kids yesterday to be saying that people were being granted permission to build bars here, I think they were playing politics. These are people that have been soliciting for process. We applied before the normal channel, we applied in the council to the town clerk's office. And after that, surveyors came from the council, the drawings were done, and everything was approved. Offer letters were given by the council.
Pano kulibe intention yo bweleza mabazi pano ni ma shops yo siana yo chitira ma business yo siana mamene bakambira kudala bazanga boyambira kukamba.
This comes after some pupils and parents cried out to government not to allow the structures to be built, as this would disturb their studies in the library.
Vema kansela akabora kama kanya mabini amenyalipa. Waisa kama bandu bakutu wanazanga kanya mabini. Ora kama shop amina yasembe wanamanga office kuchingiriza library. Futi library amina imini wakapata bafuna wapange kapa. Mao. So still vazo. Sasa funa vazo kuma MP na kansela bora batuuze kumese kumtendede.
Virginia Chilongo, MUVI TV News, Lusaka.
We take our second break. We'll be right back.
How do you do that? I'm listening. Hey! Whoa! Something like that.
Are you at home and want an easier and faster way to access and manage your Airtel account? Download the My Airtel app from your app store. Open the app, enter your phone number, click on Request OTP, enter your one-time PIN, and congratulations! You can now use the My Airtel app to top up, pay bills, send money, and much more. Be smart, be safe.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Welcome back. President Hakainde Hichilema has urged ambassadors and high commissioners assigned to foreign missions to ensure that they create warm bilateral relations with the respective countries where they are serving to foster investments for the country. President Hichilema says warm relations with other countries is important for the country's development. The president was speaking when he swore in Zambia's ambassador to Turkey, William Sikazwe, Zambia's ambassador to Tanzania, Matthews Jerry, and Zambia's ambassador to Zimbabwe, Derek Livune, at State House. President Hichilema urged the newly appointed ambassador to Turkey, Lieutenant General William Sikazwe, to ensure that Zambia becomes part of the solution to the tension in neighboring Ukraine, which has brought disruptions to the world. The head of state further says Turkey is an important and strategic partner for Zambia, hence the reason to strengthen the existing relationship. And President Hichilema has further tasked newly appointed ambassador to Tanzania, Matthews Jerry, to ensure that concerns over the congestion at Nakonde border post are resolved, among other issues. Meanwhile, President Hichilema urged newly sworn-in Zambia's ambassador to Zimbabwe, Derek Livune, to use the rich history between the two countries to enhance bilateral relations.
Remember, we are there to serve, not to be served. Being an ambassador in Turkey, sir, I'll come to talk about that. It's an important role. It's a rare opportunity to serve the people of Zambia. And to go to Tanzania next door, very important. And Zimbabwe next door, also very important. So I think once we get that right, that we are there to serve the people, it does change or better the way we view work. That we are subservient to the people. Like I've said to many people, this State House is not mine. It is for the people. As an embassy, as an economic diplomat, three of you. Now it's not pure political diplomat. Politics is important. Relationships are very important. Warm relationships. But more, you are economic diplomats. To bring investments, not to go back to bring investments here. Joint venture. We have issues there, legacy issues. I don't want to return to that, but we have legacy issues in Zambia and Zimbabwe. So as I said, I'm just singling a few issues in there. Common borders, people cross those borders, sometimes some lose lives. We want to stabilize that situation. We are one family. Zambians and Zimbabwe, we are one people as Tanzanians. So please, High Commissioner, get your diary busy. Take the work away from the Minister of Foreign Affairs and Permanent Secretary, away from this State House, because you can carry that workload. And checklist the things that need to be done, priority. And then we resolve them. Zimbabwe.
Some social cash transfer beneficiaries in Lusaka province have questioned the criteria used to identify beneficiaries of the facility. Priska Banda and Mayando Bumba, both of Kalingalinga compound, say the social cash transfer scheme is well intended to benefit vulnerable households, but allege that the program has not served its intended purpose. The duo says the majority of the most vulnerable households in the area have been left out, noting that people with the capacity to raise income are the ones benefiting. Officials from social welfare under the Ministry of Community Development were not available for a comment.
Accordance with the social cash transfer program in Zambia, the aim is to break the cycle of poverty and to foster productivity. The eligibility criteria, however, is that only households with an elderly person, households with members who are chronically ill, among others, are eligible for the program. Contrary, to this arrangement. Some beneficiaries are believed to have used dubious means, causing others to question the relevant authorities.
Chifukwa chachani process yamene yenda mwana funa tizive kuli vanhu vamene vatithandizira kuli amene ithandizo yathu chifukwa chakuti tipezekazikana machallenges yosiyana-siyana mumanyumba ya vana vathu vanesi vali bwino but vapezeka vanthu vafuna ndalama ive nango
awe ise chamene timafuna kuziva kwenekwene kuli ba social cash transfer pali thandizo yamene vamatibasa chifukwa so monga ine nimatenga 400 ati 200 imabwera panga 400 but ndina mwana wotwala ero vana vamene tili nawo vamene vamafanika ni vambiri vatenga ndalama vapasa vanthu vamene valibe na vana votwala so ngechikulu chamene tenzofuna tizive thandizo yakayena mwamene ili.
Joanne Wete reporting for MUVI TV News in Lusaka.
Chifunabuli District Commissioner Dr. Adam Banda has warned against illegal mining in the area. Dr. Banda accused some mine owners operating in the area during a dialogue meeting that they have failed to share the proceeds of undertaking mining activities in the area. He notes with sadness many continue to abrogate guidelines with impunity and subject workers to slavery conditions. And Amos Muleba, a landowner where mining activities are being conducted, discloses a mining company he allowed to start operations on his land 4 years ago has failed to fulfill its pledge of building a school, improving the road network system, and drill boreholes.
Following an accident that happened in Chifunabuli district on 12 August 2022, where 3 people died who were doing legal mining, Chifunabuli district commissioner has held a dialogue meeting with mine owners to discuss issues surrounding mining in the district. Chifunabuli district commissioner has told the miners that government will not allow legal mining to continue.
Allow, as the new Don government, one, to have illegal miners. The problem with illegal mining is that one, they don't comply to the government expectation. Number two, they don't put safety measures. Number three, they don't sell the product at the value is expected. Because better them, we can say they are thieves. And the thief cannot sell something at a good price, no.
The meeting has also revealed that most miners do not comply to mining guidelines, such as corporate social responsibility.
Before we start mining, we were there to the chief. Hapa kusuminishanya fintu fala for community 1 ukuwa msebo wa kusam katika ukufuma main road, whereby it is almost 12 kilometers away from the main road. 2, adebele kuimba mabohos mumushi ukuwa for community was of sanitation. Kabiri cha butatu adebele kukula akali skulu akana mushuko twikalokia pe skulu pata
na bati yobati license yabapo bati yobati kuno community tuliafa clinic musebo pankwa bakabuli chikulia and then ne skulu edo community yonse tukaipera license ya kutikala ilombe kali ilombe tapabisha chikififi.
For those doing corporate social responsibility, add this to say.
Twalibula shikamshile hospital. Twalitita supply ama mattresses, ama blankets, ama pillows. Twalikwata ile hospital kuitita adopt. Kweba chukabika offense, boho, a lot of things we are planning. The first time we came to Alikamwe wa school, padiaku alipeli opunga, ama cooking on, because passion yesu, ya kuchita empower our community, vana mayo, abana banshi.
Despite Chifunabuli district, MUVI TV News in Chifunabuli district of Rwapla province.
The United National Independence Party UNIP has called on government to get to the bottom of the recent fire that gutted part of Kapalala Market in Ndola in Kabushi constituency. UNIP spokesperson Andrew Mwima says it is sad that fires that engulfed the country prior to the 2021 general elections have received. With MUVI TV News Friday, Mr. Mwima has urged the police to ensure that culprits are brought to book to avoid what he terms local terrorism repeating itself.
With that trend, for us, we have realized this is what was happening when towards the election, the burning of marketplaces, the gassing of people, and many other violent things that took place. And yes, we saw security, even government officials making statements, but nothing was done. And when we look at that, the way people lose their properties, they lose their money and their livelihood just because of some few people. We consider that as terrorism. That is proper local terrorism, and that should not be allowed this time again. Because UPND, including even His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema, they were also subjected to that kind of terrorism. But now it should not be done under them. So we are asking for Honorable Jack Mwimbu to make sure that they investigate and come up with all these things. You know, it's not fair that innocent civilians end up losing their own livelihood in such reckless manner. And whoever is behind that, and whoever wants to use the very same tactics that were used before the elections last year should.
In spite of the tight security at the different borders, smugglers are employing new tactics to beat customs personnel at every checkpoint. Recently, smugglers in Petauke and Chipata, coming from Malawi and Mozambique, almost succeeded in smuggling assorted items in the country. Acting on intelligence, ZRA officers intercepted 3 motor vehicles for illegal importations into the country from Mozambique. Organization Acting Corporate Communications Manager Oliver Nzala further revealed that officers intercepted 160 boxes of spirituous beverages from 2 traders for suspected smuggling, with one of the traders admitting that the goods had no customs documents. The goods were smuggled into the country from Malawi. Other interceptions in the province included the impounding of 27 by 20 kgs of sugar and 100 boxes of 20 by 200 mils of London dry gin spirits, all from Malawi. The goods were seized from a shop in Chipata after random inspections. Mr. Nzala says the authority is also intensifying tax education awareness, especially on the dangers of smuggling to the individual, the community, and the economy.
For the Zambia Revenue Authority, I would like to warn and remind smugglers that we are using different intelligence tactics to curb smuggling. But what is very critical is that we are urging all importers to do the right thing. Recently, we had to impound 3 motor vehicles in the eastern route, in particular the eastern province, with smuggled items allegedly imported from the neighboring countries of Malawi and Mozambique. And these items included, spirituous beverages and other items that we found out of random inspections in Chipata. In another related development, we also found a truck laden with worn clothing, which is commonly known as salawola. Now, all these lead to revenue loss of the much-needed revenue by the government, and we are urging all our importers, all our traders to do the right thing, pay the right duties and taxes, so that the government can proceed to provide different social, economic amenities. So we'll continue to engage or use different intelligent tactics, networking with the different government agencies in order to keep such prices, and also we're providing technical capacity to our staff so that our operations and our services include standards that really close all these loopholes of revenue taking.
We take our third and final break. We'll be right back.
Now experience 4G speed on your 3G device with the Airtel 4G Pocket Wi-Fi.
As COVID-19 cases keep rising, many business entities are affected and their revenue keeps going down. But together, we can fight COVID-19. Rumpi Enterprises provides you and your organization the safety you require in these hard times of the COVID-19 pandemic by using effective disinfectant procedures such as knockdown and residual disinfecting that helps prevent and get rid of COVID-19. We do knockdown and residual disinfecting procedures for homes, offices, hospitals, churches, and many more. Protect yourself and the people around you and get your business running with our powerful trusted disinfectants. Call Rumpi Enterprises on 0955 76 7835 or 0955 992230 or come to the third floor, room 3, Tazara House, corner of Dedan Kimati and Independence Avenue. Follow us on Facebook, Rumpi Enterprises Limited. Always remember to observe the COVID-19 guidelines. Mask up, sanitize, social distancing, and stay.
Mistana Africa ya kupendezalo akamwana kanono no sepela kuikala chapamo kuribe kumunzi kuribe mutauni kumadere aliyese Africa.
The Zambian Statistics Agency will this year conduct the 2021 census across the country. The census aims to count people in households, rural and urban, hospitals, military, police and correctional facilities. This numbering will extend to hotels, farms, as well as high-density areas with different families sharing a house and those in transitory locations. Every person in the country matters and should be counted because the census will benefit all, from migrants, refugees and street children, homeless people, the young, the old people, as well as persons with disabilities. Everyone counts. This message is brought to you by the Zambian Statistics Agency.
Come back. Agricultural Consultative Forum Board Chairperson James Kasongo has stressed the need for stakeholders to prioritize specific opportunities for collaboration and joint work on sustainable intensification and diversification policies in Zambia. Speaking at the National Policy Dialogue meeting for the launch of the Ukama Uswati UU initiative on diversification for resilient agri-food systems in Eastern and Southern Africa, Mr. Kasongo is optimistic the platform will tackle issues of agri-food systems, diversification and resilience building. Meanwhile, Minister of Agriculture Ruben Mutolo says there is need to support small-scale farmers in Zambia by strengthening facilities that enhance agriculture. Labour and Social Security Minister Brenda Tambatamba says it is high time some cultural norms and practices such as beating of one's partner as a sign of respect in a marriage should be discarded. She observes that women's productivity at a workplace is often affected when they are constant victims of GBV adulthood to suppress one's enjoyment of human rights in this modern era. Speaking when she officially opened University of Zambia Lecturers and Researchers Union Unzalaru Women's Conference in Livingston, Mrs. Tambatamba states government will continue to work with all stakeholders in the formulations aimed at eliminating incidents of gender-based violence in communities. Government has constructed a petroleum storage depot in Chipata that will be servicing the entire province. Chipata Petroleum Depot was constructed at the cost of $38 million by a private Petroleum Supply and Distribution Company. Speaking at the handover ceremony at Mtenguleni area, Energy Minister Peter Kapala said previously there have been difficulties in ensuring a steady supply of petroleum products across Zambia. He expressed happiness that the Chipata fuel depot, with the capacity of over 7 million litres, was the sixth one to be constructed in an effort to improve service delivery to the Zambian people. And Eastern Province Minister Peter Piri says government will continue to support the private sector with sufficient electricity and fuel for businesses to thrive. Meanwhile, an energy expert, Mavuto Nirenda, said his company is happy to contribute in improving the energy sector in Zambia. At the same occasion, Tazama Managing Director Davison Tawete is happy that the depot will easily distribute on products in Eastern Province. Tazama Managing Director Davison Tawete pledged to protect the infrastructure and ensure it returns the money for its value. The ceremony was also attended by traditional chiefs in Eastern Province and other high-ranking government officials.
It is a massive infrastructure situated on 24 hectares of land with 7.8 million litres storage capacity for diesel, petrol, kerosene and jet fuel. Built at a cost of about 40 million United States dollars, this facility, located in Kasenengwa district, has been constructed to enhance fuel supply security in the Eastern Province. The Minister of Energy, Peter Kapala, today launched the fuel depot, describing it as a game changer in the country's fuel supply value chain.
It is gratifying to mention that this depot, in its current form, will be able to meet fuel requirements for the entire Eastern Province as follows. The petrol stored at this depot will last 32 days. Diesel will last for 52 days. It is our expectation that with the commissioning of this depot, fuel shortage due to lack of storage space in this part of the country will be a story of the past.
Mr. Kapala is also happy that the fuel depot was wholly financed by the Zambian government and undertaken by a local construction company, Delbit Limited.
We are delighted that the investment that government has made through taxpayers' money is now going to be realized fully. The depot offers re-export opportunities to Western Malawi. Now we have developed local capacity capable of replicating some of the works done here.
Eastern Province Minister Peter Piri says the fuel depot will contribute to the economic transformation of the province.
The availability of this depot will make it easy for our citizens to access the much-needed fuel and other petroleum products for private use and implementation of developmental projects in the province. It is pleasing that this fuel facility here will contribute to the economic transformation envisioned in this province for common good of all the people in Eastern Province.
Paramount Chief Impezeni of the Ngoni people was represented by Chief Said at the event.
The consul we want also take advantage I think tufuna kuti vana vakoka muzira Minister, this is our property and we promise as traditional leadership in Eastern Province that the body bearers. They may take this opportunity to the Minister that this should speed up connection. I think there are so many people who want to be connected to the grid.
Reporting Innocent Daka, Zanis, Kasenengwa, Eastern Province.
Minister of Commerce, Trade and Industry Chipoka Mulenga has been awarded the International Sustainable Development Goals SDGs Peace Award to the International Peace and Governance Council. Mr. Chipoka has also been recognized as a preeminent African leader with demonstrable capacity. Now, this happened at the 8th edition of the Pan-African Leadership Symposium and Honors in Abuja, Nigeria.
once and deliver the wealth that we aspire for our people. I come from a country called Zambia. My president, is talking about peace and stability, not only in our country, but across the region and across the world. So I am here at the forum to represent my country and government on our ambition to see a unified Africa, where we trade and do business together. Here we are in Nigeria. Let's speak positive about Nigeria. There's a lot of good things we can talk about Nigeria, other than the little challenges that divide Nigeria. Let's speak more about what is bringing us together. In my country where I'm coming from, a new government is in place. We are preaching peace and stability across the country. And in the few months that we've been in office, we have seen increased investment, both local and foreign direct investment, which has translated into reduction of inflation, appreciation of our currency against major trading currencies, people working together, increased reserves in our national treasury, and this is because we are working together as a country. But this has been taken now on a broader perspective, where the entire Africa never had a big brother or a small brother, but we saw each other as a united front, where we were concerned about the affairs of each other and fostered development and growth.
The story brings us to the end of the main news, but before we go, let's take a look at the stories making headlines. Former Deputy IG arrested. Masebo assures newly recruited health workers no name will be removed from the approved list. President Hichilema responds to citizens' requests for Mumbipiri's release. Kaole Stadium workers appeal for protective clothing. Pressure mounts over construction of structures around Mutendere Library. That is the end of the main news on MUVI TV. I'm Virginia Chilongo.